experience at Bard High School Early College Queens is not representative of every BHSEC student, because I am not the BHSEC everyman. There is no BHSEC everyman. The broad array of personalities reflected by my classmates still surprises me, and the range of experiences can only be fully appreciated after 4 years together. Yet, the one thing that I think most kids feel when they get to BHSEC is that it is not what they expect. As one of those kids, expecting one thing and receiving another, this has been my experience. I came to BHSEC prepared with warnings of 3 to 4 hours of homework at night, but what I received was an expectation for high quality in all of my work, immediately. The first semester at this school broke me in many ways. It revealed a part of me hidden by the comforts of my past life. I could try and justify my anxiety to say that I was given more than one difficult teacher, which I was, the trifecta of Hinrichs, Pickard, and Freeman. But I can see now that something else was the issue. Looking back, I realized that I was anxious only beneath a surging excitement of finding myself in a new place, with new people and being asked to do new things I had never done before. With that in mind, it became abundantly clear that BHSEC was exactly what was promised. A school that expected me to act like a college student from the very first day of 9th grade. The tension of being asked to walk and run at the same time is not lost on BHSEC students. It came with a contradiction that what was expected to be normal, mundane high school experiences had become existential. Like all students, we had lunch periods, left school at 3:20, and we were not allowed to use personal electronics outside the classroom. Yet, tempted as we were to indulge in the occasional cry out of frustration, was the acceptance of BHSEC for the incredible opportunity that we recognized it to be. By year 2, that was beginning to make sense to me. But a t-shirt I had seen with the words sleep, grades, and social life, and the message pick 2 across the middle became far too relatable. And yet, at times, it seemed far too simple. No one would argue that BHSEC was those 3 things only, for it has been also representative of a much more profound type of place. It represents a different way of thinking, a different way of interacting, and a different way of looking at the moments that make up our lives. This has always been difficult to explain about BHSEC, and when I have had to, the only thing I could offer was a basic description that might have given the wrong idea. It was an idea that took a while for me to understand myself. BHSEC has never been just a school where you rush through high school and earn an Associates of Arts degree. But when described to anyone else, not much more could be communicated in about 10 fine words. It could be that not much more could be understandable without going through it yourself. The things I have experienced at BHSEC are worth far more than a few words. There are many things that would be worth talking about, but none more important, none more reflective of the things that I have learned to appreciate here than the people who have comprised this school. It may be the single most important thing in this speech worth making. The value of our lessons here have extended far beyond what has been learned in our classes. Whether it has been the teachers, students, or staff, the people here have been amazing. Before BHSEC, I hadn't really understood kids who could talk to their teachers or people in the main office, but here, everyone is like a very stressed out, scattered family in a difficult environment created by all that we have hoped to accomplish. Instead of alienating those who are not outgoing or those who weren't as involved, people strive to make clear the value in the things that may have temporarily set us apart. That was not an easy thing to do, but when it came from deep within the many moments that have made up our lives, it was natural. I therefore offer another celebration, at least for a few moments. A celebration born not from where we found ourselves yesterday, or our hopes for where we may find ourselves tomorrow, but a celebration of where we are, who we are, right now. Such a celebration does not require balloons or tassels or gowns, but when it is surrounded by symbols of future success and past work rewarded, surrounded by all of you, I can think of no better place or time. For moments pass by us all the time and are intrinsically difficult to pin down and define. Somehow, even more complicated by all the things I have to think about now after graduation. Is this a moment, a feeling, or the intangible passage of time? Is it the sum of all forces upon an object, or an iteration of computer code? Must it be defined culturally, or is it an empirical place along a progressing timeline? Perhaps, as a student of BHSEC, it is all of those. Perhaps none. It may be that a moment is both the most fundamental, personal unit of the human experience, as well as a universal promise that, among so many unsure things, there is something real. A promise that there will always be something else, something a little bit more, laying just beyond our grasp, waiting for us to define, if only we had enough time. But today, this moment seems easy to define. It is the time spent here this evening together, categorized by the love we have for each other and the powerful knowledge held within the many lessons we have learned. Such a moment is in stark comparison to that experienced by creatures that pass in and out of the earth, void of the great promise that is tomorrow, who may crawl and walk and swim across the earth, unconcerned, unable to fully fathom the implications of their own existence. Because it is in those implications that BHSEC is so surely grounded. It is because of those existential thoughts that we are who we are. Moments are indeed all around us, acting both as entities of uniqueness and commonality. Such duality is important and solidified by our time here. It is felt in our assurance that words are worth speaking and our ideas are worth having. It has made knowledge worth learning, wisdom worth teaching, and music worth listening to. Even friends have been made worth having. Dreams have been made worth dreaming. A strong identity within us based not by differences, but upon the notion that no idea may be allowed to slip through the cracks. This is what I wish I could explain to people who just want a few word description of my school. That it doesn't just hand out degrees. It cultivates people that are always worth being around. It perpetuates moments worth sharing. Thank you.
member to give the graduation speech at their graduation. It gives me great pleasure to